Hey everybody, Brian here. Welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is my build guide video for Ravens in Season 10. I am Paragon 300. I just did my pit leaderboard submission. I was global rank 565 and out of Druids number 147. I'm not going to farm for a higher attempt. I could probably clear a 145. Sorry, a 125, but I'm not going to go fishing for that. As for my gear, I did stay with Gatlin's and Molinic Ring. So for the Gatlins, I did get the GA on Humanity, triple crit the Masterworking, put Willpower Gems in there. The aspect isn't perfect, but it's pretty low. I'm pretty happy with it. As for the Shroud of False Death, maybe getting a GA on Max Life is the most important thing for that overpower damage. However, other build guides that I was following, Zaior, Screamheart, Wudijo, it said to have a GA on all stats and max life, but I did masterwork the all stats to activate all of the secondary abilities in the Paragon board. We're using Pak, Cax, Rune onto the gloves, 2 GAs on max life core skills, and triple crit the core skills. We're using Stampede for the aspect. Banished Lord Talisman Legs Chaos item. Unfortunately, I would have preferred to get the GA on core skills, so if you can, do that. Triple crit the masterworking on core skills as well. I put Nagu and Fae in there for wolf damage and summon damage. Onto the boots, kill to the Blackwing Chaos Armor. GA on Ravens, Masterwork crit, triple crit on Ravens. Now I did use Dagger for the 50% damage to close enemies. I felt like this was the best choice over a little bit of extra overpower damage. We got 2 GAs on Willpower and Max Life. Ignore the Masterwork crit on Raven Steel double damage. You should be putting all 3 into Willpower. If you get a decent roll on the Raven Steel double damage, between the dagger, the boots, and the offhand, you'll have more than 100%. Also, if I had found a better dagger, I would have rolled the crit strike damage to overpower damage on that second temper. And we're using an overpower gem. As for the necklace, probably my ugliest piece of gear. I would have preferred Willpower with a GA on Envenom and Call of the Wild, like many of you probably are also looking for. I only had a single GA on Call of the Wild. Preferably Masterworking would have been 2 Envenom and 1 on Call of the Wild. But as a failsafe extra, Masterwork crits on Willpower does give you more main stat, which directly contributes to your damage. We're using Shepherd's Aspect on the necklace. As for my first ring, it's the 2 GA Molinic Ring, triple Masterwork crit on the Willpower with GAs on Willpower and Endless Tempest. There is room here for 1% more of aspect damage. However, I never could find it. Skull in the ring. Second ring with Retaliation aspect, GAs on Willpower and attack speed. I Masterwork triple crit the attack speed. That might have been too much attack speed. My goal was to get to 2 attacks per second. I believe that with Animo of the Forest up, it grants an additional 15 attack speed. This puts me way over 2 attacks per second. Probably I think at like 2.3. Probably could maybe put one of those Masterworks into Willpower. Maybe overpower damage. I don't know. And then offhand, overcharged aspect, 2 GAs on Willpower and Max Life. Triple crit the Masterwork on Willpower with a overpowered damage gem in the socket. Moving on. My Spirit Boons, Advantageous, Avian Wrath, Calamity, Energize, and Calm Before the Storm. Now, the skill tree is a little bit different. I do not have any points in Earth Spike for Earth damage. I'm gaining that Earth damage from the Exploding Earthen Bulwark, right? Because I wanted to keep this into my build for a little bit of barrier. And then my Fortify on Demand comes from Maul and the extra point there, and also from the Debilitating Roar. Other than that, you'll find my build is very similar to Zaior and Screamheart's build. We do have points in Cyclone Armor to bring them in. We've got points into Bloodhowl for extra attack speed, which I probably could do without. Again, I am a little bit over on attack speed, but it keeps it high when Animo of the Forest is not up. And then we are using the third point in an 8 debilitating roar for a damage amplification. Because of my non-optimal gear, the highest amount of Raven skills I could get was 25. 20 of those were from items. If I had extra points to spend, I would probably put them either into Cataclysm or I'm actually not sure. Not sure where I would put them. But I could take this all the way to 5 just to reduce the cooldown even further. You'll see that I have 3 points in Quick Shift, 3 points in Resonance, 3 points in Natural Disaster, and Defiance. We are using Ursine Strength as opposed to Earthen Might, Perfect Storm, and I believe Nature's Fury comes free with something else. I forget what it is. But, you know, with the Anima of the Forest from the Helm, I'm gaining Perfect Storm and Earthen Might. All I got to do is explode with an Earthen Bulwark, and I gain extra damage because of that. On to the Paragon board. Trying to be quick here. Alright, so very similar to Screamheart and Zaior's Paragon build. I'm using Keeper in the first socket. Over here on the Heightened Malice board, we are using Spirit. We are using Human inside of the Ancestral Guidance board. We are using Earth and Sky in the Thunderstruck board. And we are using Dominate inside of Untamed. I did play around with this quite a bit. This is the best I could find. You'll notice a major deviation right here. Instead of taking this path, I took this path over here. I felt that once you're at Paragon 300 and you're just loading points into willpower, you don't lose any willpower by coming over here, but I can drop a strength node and take fewer dexterity nodes and pick up more intelligence nodes for extra resistance. But this is a custom Paragon board. It is very similar to the other two from Zaior and Screamheart. However, this is my custom creation. I did a very thorough audit on this. This is the one I recommend over theirs, especially if you're using the same helm and ring that I am. As for mercenaries, standard build here, extra damage, extra resistance, bloodthirst on any skill, and the chaos perks, overabundance, wild transformations, purge the infected, and savagery. There was an option to maybe use Crazy Brew. I chose not to take it. Chose to stick with what we had. As you can see, my armor is really high, but not quite at 1,000. Sitting at about just under 14k life. Just under 4,000 willpower. Still pretty high resistances everywhere. We're over 4,700 overpower damage. We still have, you know, this could go higher if my temper on the dagger was different. The crit strike damage is still important though, so you want to have some of that. And Raven effect size is, I would prefer it to be higher, but this is the best we could do. Damage was more important. But that's my build. Thanks for watching. I hope that if you're doing Ravens and you're trying to figure out which way to go this way. If you want to push pits and you want to use Gatlin's Helm and you want to use the Molinic Ring, right, this is what you should be doing. I've already, during the video, said if there's any deviations from what I have, that's what you should be looking for, but I'm pretty happy with what I got. Again, cleared a pit 123, landed global rank 565. So I'm pretty much done for the season. You might see me on, you might not. Feel free to hit me up in Discord. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.